That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody, to a Notre Dame versus USC and the Vibes Are Weird edition of the Always Irish Depression Show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time something good or bad. I'll throw the good part in there too. Anytime something good or bad happens, you'll be the first to know if you have notifications on. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Still getting killed by the LSU and Louisville people. That's the way this goes. And I just got to sit and take it. It's the way this game's played. Emails, alwaysirish@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it to call-in lines. 312-988-15. That call-in show is growing. We're getting more callers. We're getting more first-time callers. It's exactly what I wanted, just for the wrong reasons. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. You'll find me there. USA Today, Fighting Irish. Well, I read all about it. We got USC week covered. Great staff over there. Hardworking guys led by Captain Nick Shepkowski of 670 The Score, Lore, AM Sports Radio for you Chicago locals. All right. Welcome in. Welcome back. These are just odd times indeed. It's Notre Dame USC week, and quite frankly, the vibes are off on both sides. From the media and the fans, this is not a normal Notre Dame USC buildup either way. Either way, both teams have deficiencies right now. Both teams have reasons to be nervous about how they're playing. Both. Not just Notre Dame. Both. I feel like both are in a weird place. First things first. It's my damn birthday today. And every other year when we get USC at home, my birthday falls in game week of this week. Every one of those every other years where we get them, and that usually that second week of October. And I'm going to ask for the same birthday gift I've asked for every other year. Beat these guys at home, damn it. That's all I need. Can you give me that? Here's the next thing. I am depressed about how Notre Dame's playing. They are performing way below their talent level recently. They are. Everybody that loves Notre Dame is upset about how they're playing. That being said, one thing I'm not going to do is add losses onto this record that aren't happening in reality yet. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. Things are not good enough. Nobody's doing a good enough job. But the one thing I'm not doing is adding losses on the ledger that don't exist yet. Notre Dame can beat USC. They're flawed big time, just in some opposite ways we are. They're beatable. Be mad. Demand better. Get frustrated. I have been all week. But don't count losses that aren't there yet. That's my advice. Many, like me, had Notre Dame at 10-2 overall for the year. That's still in play. Win this game. Hit the bye, trend up, get healthier, rejuvenate a little bit. Notre Dame's favored by 2.5, whatever. I don't understand how Vegas does this stuff. So you can say, John, the way we're playing, you're out of your mind for thinking 10-2 still on the table or whatever. I may agree with you, but I'm just pointing out there's only 2 losses on that record right now. Not 3, not 4, not 5. And there doesn't have to be any more. Physically, Notre Dame could beat everybody else on their schedule, including USC. That's physically feasible based on the talent we have on the team, but the guys got to do the right things. And the coaches got to put in the right things for the guys to do. And we have problems with both of those, the execution and the plan. And while I'm speaking about the execution, I understand there was a big mess with Freeman's presser Monday and him saying he didn't have a problem with the play calling, he had a problem with the execution. And half of the Notre Dame fan base on Twitter said, even if he has a problem with the plan, he can't say it and throw Parker under the bus publicly. What do you expect him to do? And then other people are saying, is he lost and he really doesn't get it? Like, if he really thinks the plan's okay, we're dead. Here's the reality. I'm not an idiot. I wasn't born yesterday. I don't expect full transparency from Freeman to throw Parker under the bus and go, yeah, the plans are garbage, and then the way we execute them is garbage. I'm not a dummy. I wasn't born yesterday. I understand he couldn't say that. Here's my contention, though. There is a big difference in messaging of how if Freeman would have said, when they asked, do you have a problem with the plan or whatever, it's a big difference if Freeman said, when we're doing things that aren't working, we need to look at everything and figure out how to be better at it. That comes off way different than, I don't have a problem with the plays, I have a problem with the execution. That's my contention. There was a way for him to not throw anybody under the bus, but also acknowledge that everything needs to be looked at. He could have done that and it would have hit a lot different than saying what he said. That's my argument. People were going, he wasn't going to throw Parker under the bus. What do you want? I want an acknowledgement that it all needs to be looked at without throwing him under the bus. There's nuance in the messaging. If he would have just said, when things don't work on offense, we need to look at every part of it, people would have been okay with that. Looking at the scheme and the structure and the play planning is included in that. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. So get creative here. There was a way for him to give the messaging we wanted to hear, but without throwing his guys under the bus, and he didn't do that. That's the issue. It's a way different message if he just says, if something isn't working, we need to deconstruct all of it. He didn't say that. That's the issue. There's middle ground here. And some people would say, you're nitpicking a press conference, grow up. And I'm saying, when you play the way Notre Dame played, you need to expect everybody to hang and analyze every word, because that's the scrutiny you invite when your team played that bad on the biggest stage with your season on the line. Your playoff hopes on the line in prime time. When you perform that way, everybody should expect that level of scrutiny, hanging on every word and analyzing in the press conferences. It's perfectly fair when you're in this situation. So that's my only thing with that messaging is, I'm not an idiot. I don't expect full transparency, even if he's mad at Parker. But he could have said something else to suggest that he knows that there's a problem there, and he didn't. And that's the problem people have. Nobody expected full transparency, but the double down on the plan being good when there's still shots all over the internet of us running plays, starting out with not enough guys to block as many as they have. There's no world where you could be okay with that being the plan. Starting out with the running play where you have 3 less guys to block than they're bringing. No. So that's where I'm at on that. Okay. Get creative, man. There's middle ground here on the messaging that he didn't take. He doubled down the wrong way. Here's the other thing too. I had heard going back into Louisville week, I heard this and read this somewhere, that the people that were at practices last week, Notre Dame actually pulled off of practices and lightened the reins Tuesday and Thursday because they were too worn out and too beat up. Now, if I heard that one place, I wouldn't know, but I heard it multiple places that they literally had to pull the reins back and not practice as hard because they were running out of gas last week. Bro, this is the ultimate proof that 8-game thing and us saying they're out of gas and beat up, and it's not an excuse, but it might be a reason, and that dynamic frustrates people. Notre Dame self-imposed this disaster by going 8 games and having all your toughest games in this stretch. We'll worry about Clemson later, but the way this all stacked up, you're dragging ass. You self-imposed this disaster. This is the last thing you want facing USC's offense is a tired-legged defense. But here we are. So I don't know what needs to be done with the schedule making between the ACC and then what we could control or whatever. This was a nightmare, and it put our guys backed into a corner. And you just can't do that to yourself. So I hope they're happy with Dublin, and I'm whatever, man. Like, I hope you made a lot of money, but the guys are paying the price, and so are we. So I don't know who to blame. The ACC schedule makers, our own people. You just cannot put yourself in this position again. You can't. And I was saying maybe it just looks like they're struggling and tired and all that. No, you found out for a fact the team knows they're dragging ass. Can't do it again. Can't do it again. All right, let's get into this more specifically. Here's number one. After all that has happened with Notre Dame football from Ohio State to Duke to Louisville, here's where I'm at. I have no patience left for Notre Dame to look stupid on a football field. They have done it through parts of the Ohio State game, most of the Duke game, almost every second of the Louisville game. I have no more patience left for Notre Dame to look dumb out there. Bringing that into this week, the mood this fan base is in, absolutely freaking nobody in ND Nation is ready to watch Caleb Williams dance around behind the line of scrimmage while we miss 7 to 8 tackles per play, which is how this defense plays. And he dances around back there, and our guys are diving and missing, and he's doing his circus tricks for 8.5 seconds and then finds a wide open guy for a 35-yard gain and run after the catch. I'm just telling you guys, I can't handle that this week. I can't handle it this week. I've already seen so much bad defensive football from Notre Dame and bad tackling lately. I can't do it. I can't handle it. So that is the number one thing that jumps into my brain is how it's amazing how the overall numbers are pretty good for this defense, but they just can't tackle. The first guy to a play refuses to get the guy down. Nobody's in the mood for this guy to dance around for 10 seconds and we're diving around everywhere but get him. I can't handle it. So that's number one problem I see is we're not a good tackling team, and that's going to be a problem in this one. It isn't just him. It's once the receivers get that ball, if the first guy doesn't get him, what happens after that? Like, you got to tackle good to beat USC, and we're not tackling good. Our angles are bad. We're not shedding blocks. Just there's mistakes and just loose tackling I can't handle, bro. The plan last year was absolute garbage, and we looked like jerks out there running around behind Caleb Williams and never getting home, and then we get burned. I can't handle it. Do you have the discipline to bracket that guy off the edges and at least contain him and then get a little pressure and then tackle? Like, I know I'm asking for a lot, but that's what the recipe is this week. Awful game to be a bad tackling team, but here we are. Next, last year, USC ended up bullying Notre Dame up front as the game went on both sides of the ball. If it happens again, Notre Dame's going to lose. I mean, it's just that crystal clear. They took over that game and manhandled Notre Dame up front last year, ruined Thanksgiving for all of Irish Nation. And everybody went into the game going, you know where Notre Dame's going to win this game? By bullying them up front on both sides of the ball. They did it to you. They did it to you. Now, Notre Dame fans, after what they've seen recently, I don't think they're the most confident right now that it's going to be different after last week. But we'll see, I guess. That's what it's going to take. Listen, for as bad as our offense is, their defense matches it. If Notre Dame can't do something this week, I honestly don't know where that leaves us, you guys. I don't know where that leaves us. Like, if you're not able to make moves against this defense, I don't know what you do. It's going to be a long half a month into that bye if that's how this ends up going. And I keep repeating, Southern Cal's having some doubt. Their offense was held down against Arizona. They barely won at the end. They aren't exactly flying high on all cylinders. They know they have defensive problems. The offense got bogged down a little bit against fancy Arizona, who will probably play better defense against them than we will. Make that make sense. I can't. But they're undefeated and they have the most electric quarterback in the game. Notre Dame's still a favorite in this game. It's amazing looking at how we played. 2.5-point favorite. I haven't looked today to see if that's moved. It just seems like every week is a pivot point for Notre Dame with a ton on the line. And here's another one. Do you stop the bleeding and keep 10-2 alive, or do you bleed out for the next 2 weeks after this? It's going to be a wake for the next half a month. If Notre Dame loses these 2 games in a row and goes into the bye, it's going to be a wake for 2 weeks till we play again. Notre Dame's defense just needs to tackle way, way better. And they're going to need to make some splash plays we have not been getting enough of. Do a good enough job against the run. You're going to have to get pressure. You're going to have to make splash negative plays, turnovers. You're going to need that kind of stuff against this offense. Our offense, God knows they need as many chances with the ball as possible to do something with right now. It isn't going to be enough for the defense to just do bend but don't break all night against USC and give up a couple touchdowns. Like, you're going to need to get the ball back and hold them down somehow. But this game is weird because USC has some fatal flaws, and so does Notre Dame, and they're opposites. Parker versus Grinch is the matchup nobody wants to see on either side. USC side's nervous to see how that defense does against Hartman, and we're nervous to see what this offense can do against them. There is doubt both ways. Don't mark this down as a guaranteed loss. If Notre Dame plays as did last week, it's going to be one, but there's no guarantee they're going to play that bad. I'm not marking a loss down till I need to. God, the crowd vibes are just so off. Nobody's in the mood, bro. Nobody's in the mood. Playing Caleb is always going to be annoying because of all of his dancing around and his magical ways to extend plays and all that, and then either run it or find a wide open guy. Nobody's in the mood for this. Nobody's in a good mood for this. Nobody's like excited, like rah, rah, we got that. The way Notre Dame's playing doesn't make that a reality. So the crowd vibes are going to be weird all week. The big noon kickoff is coming. Whoop-de-doo. Wow. Like, bro, nobody's in the mood. I'm sorry. It's playing him is so annoying already. And then you add in that we can't tackle, and I'm not here for it, bro. I'm going to get 2 extra bottles of Pepto-Bismol because I just have a hard time seeing our guys be bad at tackling every week and then thinking against this guy they're going to be good at it. I hope for that, but I have my doubts, bro. It's just rough. Oh, the other thing, the weather. I like it. The temperature is supposed to go down, maybe even some moisture in the air. It's a night game. I saw some USC tweeters saying, make sure you dress warm. It could be cold and rainy. The shittier the weather, the better. The shittier the weather, the better. I want 42 degrees with sleet. I don't care. The crappier the weather, I know those guys don't like it. I know their fans don't like it. I want it cold and shitty. Okay? And you know what else? How appropriate. It matches all Notre Dame fans' moods right now. The shittier and the colder and miserable, the better. That's what I want. So far, so good on that. But if you really look at I'm not kidding. USC's backup wide receivers would start at Notre Dame and be the best guys we have. And I genuinely mean that. That's where we are at in that area, and that's where they are at in their area. You're going to have to play good defense somehow, some way. If you get beat up front again, you're losing no matter what. Sorry. Notre Dame's got a lot to get figured out this week, real quick. Offensively, listen, Notre Dame's going to need some splash chunk offense plays to win this game. I don't think even as bad as their defense is, you're not going to dink and dunk it and go down 12-play drive. Like, Notre Dame's not efficient enough on offense to live that way and sustain drives the way we're playing. Maybe some offenses could. We can't. We're not that efficient. You're going to have to find ways to get chunks down the field. And I think even if Notre Dame plays good defense, USC and Williams are going to get some plays. So you got to find solutions here, bro. And being real conservative on offense ain't going to happen. You're going to have to find a way to get down the field a little bit. Flip field position. This can't be one where you're ultra conservative all day and win. I don't think it can. So you're going to have to find answers somewhere. It's just a bad spot to be in. So the vibes are off both sides with USC. Their confidence, even for the LA arrogance, it isn't what I'm used to seeing. And our confidence is shot for obvious, justifiable reasons. The Notre Dame fans in attendance at this game are going to be begging for a reason to buy in Saturday night. It is going to be an apprehensive, nervous crowd, kind of waiting to see, are we going to be in the real world this week, or is it going to be more what we saw? It's going to be an apprehensive crowd at first. If Notre Dame makes the plays, it gives them a reason to buy in. It'll get loud in there. But I've been in this environment. It's going to be an apprehensive crowd. Will Notre Dame give them a reason to get in it and get loud? Or are you going to lay down and die 2 weeks in a row? This is a big week to get answers. Chance to salvage whatever's left of 10-2. Put a feather in the cap of having one of these elite wins. You didn't get one against Ohio State. Like, there's a lot on the line here, even though it's not exactly what we want it to be. There's a lot on the line here. So this is going to be interesting, but no Notre Dame fans are in the mood to watch Caleb Williams run around and clown you all night. I can't handle it. I can't handle it on top of what we've already had the last month. That being the cherry on top going in the bye. I can't do it. So Notre Dame's got to find a way to play better here. This is your arch nemesis. There are no excuses to not come ready, play physical, and give it your all and play good football. This is your arch enemy. You got to get it right and figure it out. Or this is going to be a really long bye that makes Johnny want to cry. Let me know what you guys think.